This is Russell Fagan, aka Sinistral Rifleman, and this is my video for the Rio Salado Sportsman's Club matches held in August of 2019. I'm not going to show all the stages from both matches. I am going to show the more interesting stages from both matches. In the case of the Rio Black Rifle match in particular, with the stages all being long range, they often look very similar on video as previous months. I start this stage on my support side shoulder because of the hard angle around the barrels. This stage has 4 targets with no shoots with very limited exposure. These closer targets in particular racked up a lot of no-shoot penalties for many shooters. However, knowing my bore offsets is something I practice, and I shot all these targets clean. Here's a better perspective to see how far away these targets actually are. Both of these targets are at roughly 300 yards. The challenge on portions of stages like this is getting stable enough quick enough. Once I stabilize, getting the hits is easy. On this stage, I was 1st Stealth Division and 6th overall. This stage features one of the newer, relatively equally weighted spinners. They are easier to drive over, requiring less shots to do so, but the hang time if you're waiting for it to come back around is longer, so driving it over quickly is very important. This stage starts with steel targets at 200 to 300 yards. On the stage previous to this one, not shown in the video, my KE Arm shooting teammate Jordan was giving me grief about my shooting being sloppy. This gave me the appropriate motivation to go 1 for 1 on all these targets before engaging the spinner. These spinners move relatively easily. I hesitate only slightly as I see the bottom plate come around to the top to drive it over. Going 1 for 1 on the steel and getting the spinner over quickly gives me an overall stage win on this stage. In the end, I'm 1st out of 10 in Stealth Division and 4th out of 68 overall shooters, using my KE-15 Patrol Carbine Level 2 and Doomslayer Cerakote by Weeplead II. This rifle is outfitted with a Hollow Sun red dot and Aimpoint C2 magnifier. Now for the Rio Salado 2-gun / 3-gun match held August 10th, 2019. This stage features another one of those relatively equally weighted spinners. I get it going, transition to these poppers, then transition back to it, hoping that I'm not waiting for it to come back around to the right position to engage. In the end, it would have been better to simply hammer it over from the start. In the future, when I encounter these equally weighted spinners, I will simply drive them over or drive them through rather than trying to time engaging them with other target systems. I am 2nd Stealth 2-gun with 83.28% of the winner's score on this stage. Overall, I am 22nd with 65.03% of the winner's score. Looking at the results on this, it's easy to see that 3-gun was an advantage. Depending on the loading used in the shotgun, they could rotate the spinner in one hit. This target is similar to the Irish plate rack in that it has 2 independently moving end pieces with different plates, but because this only has 3 on each end, it moves a bit more erratically than the Irish plate rack does in my experience. The rifle portion on the stage is 6 steel targets at about 50 yards from 2 positions.
If you're finished, download shall clear.
I'm 1st Stealth 2-gun on this stage, giving me 100 match points. Overall, I'm 5th with 88.14% of the winner's score. This stage features 2 steel targets at extreme angles at 100 yards, 2 steel at about 200 yards, and then 1 steel at 400 yards. From this first position, I make the mistake of trying to engage the far right target from underneath the spool. I can do this successfully because I'm left-handed from this position, but it would have been faster to simply stand up and support over the edge of the spool rather than trying to take it from underneath. I don't use my bipod to support off the rooftop prop. I always hook my magazine over the front edge of the roof to help hold me in place and stabilize the rifle. I'm first stealth 2-gun on the stage, giving me 100 match points. I'm 7th overall with 92.96% of the winner score. In the end, I'm first in stealth 2-gun division with 375.36 match points out of 400 possible. Overall, I'm 11th out of 95 shooters with 87.91% of the winner's score. Thank you for watching. Come back again for more match and multi-gun competition content.